Hey, this is Andy responding to Kieran's most recent contest. I think I'm doing it just in time because he extended it by a week. And so he asked people to show their top 10, or their just 10, desert island records. So records you would bring to a desert island with you. And so, like many of the rest of you guys who have responded to Kieran's contest, I have a lot, and I have a hard time to pin them down. So I just made some rules for myself to force me to choose 10 of my favorites. So first, I decided, the realm of music was too much, and so keeping with the vinyl part of the vinyl community, I insisted that I have first presses of each of these on vinyl. Didn't have to be U.S. And I did the first press just to further limit it, just to rule stuff out. Okay, so I decided I would do a purist OG top desert islands. But that still had quite a bit, so I ended up with 11. So one of these I'm going to subtract, but I'm going to do it on the fly. So it's going to be however I feel as I'm pulling these out. One of them will get subtracted. So I don't know which one yet. Okay, first up, I think sometimes on desert island you're going to need something with some humor, but also that has great, that sounds uplifting, but still makes you think about sort of the human experience. And that is why I chose this record, Nielsen Sings Newman. So I kind of wanted both a Randy Newman record and a Harry Nilsson record. I love both of those guys so much, especially Randy Newman's songwriting and Nilsson's voice. Well, luckily, they got together and they combined the best of both worlds. So, Randy Newman can't really sing. Nilsson can write songs, but not like Randy Newman can. So this has songs like Vine Street, which is a great song, but Love Story. It's got Dayton, Ohio, 1903, like early Randy Newman stuff that I think was only on his solo, his self-titled album that kind of didn't go anywhere. And then Nilsson, who liked it and had marginally more star power at that time, came along and recorded it. And so this, I think, is one of the greatest vinyl deals out there. You can find that for like $1 pretty commonly, and it's such a great record. Okay, so Nielsen Sings Newman, humor, great vocals, makes you think about the human condition, which you might get like that on a desert island. The next one is more recent, and I talk about this guy quite a bit, Destroyer Rubies. Okay, this is first U.S. pressing. That's what I limited myself to, okay, because this did have a weird little Canadian pressing, but it never was pressed in the U.S. until recently. It's a 2006 release. If you guys haven't listened to Destroyer yet, this is 2006. This was 4 albums ago now. This was when he was in a Bowie kind of slickly produced, but still very much in a rock vein. Later albums become more disco, more free jazz even. He's become a lot more musically experimental. This one is less, but still a wonderful, wonderful album. And I think if I wanted to just kind of, suppose you had some recreational drinks or drugs on this island, I'm going to assume that, then this would be a great record to listen to while you are relaxing on the island. Next one. And maybe this would be the one I would take off because I already put something with humor and kind of ironic look at the world. So I'm going to show it, but at the end I might come back and say this one goes off. This is Tom Waits' Rain Dogs. This is, I think, his very, very best record. And I love almost all of his records. I think I have everything that's readily available. There are a couple of things from the early 90s that are just ridiculously expensive. But it's got Rain Dogs, the Ninth and Hennepin. Anything about Minneapolis, I love. Ninth and Hennepin is something he wrote, I think, while he was in Minneapolis, about a corner. I think that's where the red light district still is. It's a weird, probably in the 80s it was even different than it is now. But anyway, that'd be nice because it would make you think about places you've been. So it's great if you have a record that references some part of your old life. So in that sense, if I had the Hold Steadies, Boys and Girls in America, that would be on this list. But I don't have it, so I couldn't put it on the list. I think that exists on vinyl, but I just don't own it. So but that might go off. I'm not sure. Not sure. Okay, moving along. I'd want to have some of my jazz favorites to kick back and relax. So I thought I would throw this bad boy on. Speak No Evil, Wayne Shorter. I've shown this before. Wonderful, wonderful record. It's one of my all-time favorite Blue Notes, one of my all-time favorite jazz records. And that was on my mind because Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock are coming through Austin in April, and I got to wake up early enough to get the tickets on Friday when they go on sale. So that reminds me to do that. I figure, this reminds me to go see that show, and let's suppose that I get thrown on that island after April. Then I will have both the memory of that concert and this record. And I hope they play some stuff from this record. Because, of course, most of these guys have passed away, but those two were both on that session. So maybe they'll throw on. And I'm hoping Brian Blade plays on it. Okay. Another one. Some pop. Pure pop. Psychedelic love. One of my favorite records of all time, The Kinks. We are the Village Green Preservation Society. I think this would be a great record to have, so that you could think about, you're on an island, you're away from humanity and society, but you might want to remember some of the more absurd and petty parts of normal society. It might drive you crazy now, but if you're not seeing another human being for years and years, even that might be something you like to remember. And in a lot of ways, I think this album is about that. At least some of the songs. So it's got Do You Remember Walter? It's got People Take Pictures of Each Other, which is, I think, maybe, I don't know of any other songs from that era that are about people socializing using technology, right? So it's about taking pictures to remember an event and to show off an event as if you need proof in order to convince yourself that you were really there, which, of course, is even more timely now that we take photos of everything. So listen to that record, think about the crazy things in society and how these guys captured them that were persistent for years and years, from the 60s to the 2000s, and will continue even after you're a skeleton on the island. Okay, so I put that one on there. But you don't only want to think, and you don't, all these things have been kind of introspective so far. Sometimes you might want to dance on the island, and so I put LCD Soundsystem's 2006 album, or is it 2007? I don't remember. 2006-2007 album, Sound of Silver. I could have put any LCD Soundsystem record on here. I love those guys. I had a period of being really fanatical about them. Like when they were touring on their last record, was when I was on the job market, trying to find a job after grad school, and I was just needing release and just to get out of my own head all the time. And so I went and saw them 3 times on that tour, including I traveled out to New York for their last show because it was something that I really connected with, even though it's about a lifestyle I never lived because I've always been a complete nerd. I've never been the guy at a rave, but going to those shows made you feel like you were that guy, and so it was really great to go and do it. Okay. How many was that? That was the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 6 already. Okay, I have 5 more. I have to think on the fly which one I'm going to drop. You know what? I'm not going to drop this one. I'm not going to drop that Rain Dogs. I want to keep Rain Dogs. I just realized I'm going to drop Astral Weeks. I have it here, but I'm going to drop it, so I'm not going to talk about it. I love the album, but maybe in 5 years that'll be on there. But at this point, I love it. Not on there. It wouldn't serve a purpose for the island. Okay? All right. Now, sometimes you want to get, a little avant-garde on an island, but not too much because you are, trying to fight for survival. So you want to do early avant-garde, and also my favorite jazz record, period, is Shape of Jazz to Come, Ornette Coleman. So that would have to come with me. I've talked about this one multiple times. I think it's been in 3 videos now. This is the 3rd video. My intro video, I had it. When I got this pressing, I talked about it. And now on the Desert Island, it's always going to be with me. Okay, the record will not, unless I find unless I find the mono or the stereo green swirl label. This one will always be with me. I would maybe trade it for the stereo. This is the mono. Okay. Another one, probably at some point on the island, you get a little angry. So you'd want a little punk rock, okay? And so I have 2 light punk rock. I'm not like a hardcore punk guy. I used to be in high school. I was really into this kind of stuff. I was an angry teen. But the stuff that stuck with me, some people are going to yell at me for even calling this punk rock. At least it's in the realm of punk rock. So the first one that I would have to bring, and I thought really hard about which Elvis Costello record I would bring, and I just realized, this is breaking the rule. Fuck it, I'm breaking the rule. I have the original. I don't have it. I left it over on the shelf. So imagine this is the original. So Elvis Costello, Armed Forces. This is the MoFi. I have all the, these things are super easy to come across, but then I also get the MoFi. So just ignore that, okay? I bring that for when you want to snarl, This has songs like Oliver's Army, Green Shirt. This record at one time I think it was going to be called something like Emotional Fascism. I can't remember exactly, but it's like channeling romantic angst from a teenager's perspective, but through a 30-year-old man's brain. So that's perfect, right? Because teenagers don't really know shit, but they feel a lot more. So you might want to have those memories and pull up that anger. But you might also want to get politically angry. And this isn't something that I usually listen to. I don't listen to a lot of political music. But this is a record that I've had on CD, of course, when I was in high school, because I didn't own a turntable then. But I probably have listened to this record at least once a month for the past 20 years. Okay? 32 now, and I got it when I was like 13. I've listened to it constantly. It's The Clash, London Calling. This is great also because it's a double record. It's got a lot of music, so you get really maximized. I probably should have used more double records. I even have some triples. Shit. What was I thinking? Sandinista would have been a better choice, but I like that one more. And then finally, just because I love it, and I felt like it would be crazy not to have some Coltrane on here, I was thinking Love Supreme, but actually over the past few months, I've shifted my love, my favorite Coltrane, to Giant Steps. Okay. This is also fudging. It's not a first pressing. I wish I had one of those. It's worth so much money, but I'd probably sell it because I can't justify it. But I'd definitely take that. And now my wife's home, so that's the entry. Congratulations to Kieran. See you guys later.